I've always hated Duke, but I'm having a hard time hating them because Shire seems cool. They play differently than the old Duke teams. Can you help us hate Duke? Snap us out of it.
Yeah, it's still Duke. I can tell you that. But I will say Duke's been a juggernaut all year, and Shire's done a great job, especially with coaching these young kids, because a lot of teams that have had a lot of success lately, they're not as young as what Duke is now with Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple, and the Maluwatch kid. Those are all freshmen. And so it's rare to see a team like that that's so young make such a deep run and have, success throughout the whole year. But, yeah, I still hate Duke. I mean, I got a lot of respect for him, but I had him losing the first game like I told everybody against the 16 seed.
Welcome to the Greenlight Podcast presented by BetMGM. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code GREENLIGHT. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. If that bet loses, you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just make sure you use bonus code GREENLIGHT when you sign up. All right, here's how this show's going to go. We're going to have Psycho T on, Tyler Hansbrough. You remember him. He was, is there anybody more villainous from our upbringing as ACC kids, non-UNC fans? Think about it. Who was the biggest villain in college sports back then?
JJ Redick?
I don't know, bro. I've got a lot of years of getting to know JJ Redick, and it's hard for me to imagine hating him anymore.
I know.
Him and his little puka shells.
I know.
Now he's coaching the Lakers. Him and that piece of shit, Tommy Alter, worst commissioner ever in fantasy football history.
Psycho T
Shout out
fits
to
the mold.
Old man in the three.
Fits the mold. But he only went 7-1 against Virginia, so.
Yeah. So he was a great guest. We've got him coming on in a couple minutes, or right now, basically. And we're going to talk a little bit about this year's tournament, as well as him telling stories about China. Some of the funniest stories he told was about his time over in China playing in the Chinese Basketball Association. Is that right?
You got it.
Ni hao. And is that funny that I can speak Mandarin?
No, I got a funny text.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, we want to tell you about Tyler's coming up, and then after that, coming out of Tyler, we're gonna what are we gonna do? Talk. Hey, right when we get out of the Right when we get out of the white basketball player interview, we have a White Lotus moment or two. So we will put Reed. You can do something to warn people, not to listen for spoilers. The first 5 minutes out of Tyler is going to be White Lotus spoilers and Severance spoilers.
Except that nothing really much happens in the first show you mentioned. So how can there be a spoiler?
You're such a hater. So we got Psycho T. We're going to talk a little bit about the tournament, but we dive right into the coaches picture at the league meeting, which has become, the best thing going in sports media this week every year. So enjoy that. We're going to fry the coaches a little bit. There's a lot to talk about there. And then we kind of run out of steam and we decide, because our podcast drops tomorrow, April 1st, that we are technically allowed to April Fool's people on March 31st.
That's right.
So we called a bunch of people and told them that Kyle
Long
is joining the Army, including my dad. So stick around for that. We even called Kyle to see what he had to say about it. And making prank calls the Green Bay Packers.
That's right.
So that's all.
Told them that Kyle's
was joining the Army. Yeah, we're so goofy right now because we just wrapped up doing 30 minutes of prank calls. So, hey, listen, I told you earlier this week, I can't promise you hard-hitting analysis every day of the week. There's just not that much to talk about right now. So let's talk some basketball with Psycho T.
4-1 seeds made the Final Four.
Hey, by the way, I was coming in here to shit all over Oz the Mentalist and be like, oh, what a loser. Oh, cool. You picked all four. So did 300,000 people. And then my co-host nailed it.
That's right.
And actually, I think you're really smart.
Thank you.
I think Oz the mentalist making the real estate agent.
That's right. It's only happened twice ever. You know how long ever is?
Forever.
That's right.
Tell me about what went into your thought process there.
With the 4 ones?
Yeah.
Sure. This will sound a lot like 2 weeks ago.
I'm trying to tee you up to get your flowers.
Oh, right. Thanks. The teams that are really good for these 5 months, they're going against teams that have been average for only 5 months and bad for only 5 months. I think you're seeing a lot more upsets when the great players are at the smaller Cinderella schools than when they level up to these Auburns and Floridas and then just dominate everybody else. And like I told you, there were only 6 potential winners when we started this thing, and 4 of them were Auburn, Florida, Duke, Houston.
Who wins it?
Duke. Duke is the best team.
And I don't hate them anymore. Not this team.
I agree.
They're kind of fun. They play hard. They play defense.
They still cry when their coach doesn't win ACC Coach of the Year.
All right, well, here's Psycho T, and then enjoy some BS on the back half. All right, this is great. We don't do a lot of basketball guests, but when I heard we could get Tyler Hansbrough, I was all in because we got a history with this guy. At least we used to watch him on TV and probably despise him. But I've listened to him on stuff now, and he seems like the greatest dude in the world. So I'm super excited to have him on.
And our age.
And he's our age.
And I just told you, I spent a little time in the UNC subreddit world.
Did you?
The last day or so. You have Jordan, Perkins, Worthy, Sheed, Stackhouse, Antoine, all these guys. He's widely considered the best basketball player at the best basketball school.
It was pretty incredible. Welcome to the show, Tyler.
Guys, thanks for having me on. And Chris, I told you before, you're not the only one that feels that way, but I'm glad, you do think I'm a good guy now because a lot of people don't. But, I love UNC and those guys. I stayed here quite a bit longer than they did. But, it's good company.
Well, I guess the first question, considering y'all's rival is still in it, Duke, and they look pretty strong. I've always hated Duke, but I'm having a hard time hating them because Shire seems cool, and they play differently than the old Duke teams. Can you help us hate Duke? Snap us out of it.
Yeah, it's still Duke. I can tell you that. And, there may be some new faces, but, it's the same old, same old. It's still a private school. I'm a public school kid. There's a lot of that, uppity mentality a little bit. But I will say Duke's been a juggernaut all year, and Shire's done a great job, especially with coaching these young kids because a lot of teams that have had a lot of success lately, they're not as young as what Duke is now with Cooper Flagg, Concanipple, and the Maluwatch kid. Those are all freshmen. And so it's rare to see a team like that that's so young make such a deep run and have, success throughout the whole year. But, I still hate Duke. I mean, I got a lot of respect for him, but I had him losing the first game like I told everybody against the 16 seed.
Well, that's never happened. Well, that happened once.
Twice now.
Twice.
We're off.
We're the first
We're off
one.
the hook.
We're the first one. Before we go back into this tournament, I did hear that you hate NC State maybe almost as much, or is it in the neighborhood of Duke?
It's I do. I dislike State way more. And States, they've been through it. I mean, they were once kind of a powerhouse, and they still have that same mentality. Listen, there's no boundaries with NC State. At least Duke's respectable. They had a lot of success, but State, they will let you have it no matter what the situation is. But the Will Wade hire for NC State, that is just I don't think there's a perfect or a better fit in college basketball than Will Wade to NC State. I actually really like Will Wade, but it's going to be tough to do when he's on that NC State sideline.
Were you just overjoyed when they got knocked off when they made that deep run? What was that, 2 years ago? Or was it last year?
Feels last year, Final Four. Yeah.
Hey, they're I tell everybody they're due for a magical run every 30 or 40 years. But no, I mean I like watching the DJ Burns kid.
Yeah.
I'm a big man, and in today's game, it's rare to see somebody put in work in the post. So I was glad to see that, and a lot of aspects of the game that I really like, the physicality. he brought. But, yeah, it was cool to watch. But somebody came up to me and they said, don't you like watching NC State? Aren't you pulling for them? I said, there's no scenario where I'll ever pull for NC State, but I enjoyed watching the run.
That's great.
I respect that. All right, we need to get your 30,000-foot take on college hoops. On the one side of the bracket with Florida and Auburn, we've all seen that graphic. 2 out of the 10 starters began their careers at that school. We have kids from Iona, Morehead State, Belmont, FAU. A lot of these schools that were popular Cinderellas are now on these juggernaut powerhouse teams. Are you fired up to see the 4 best teams in this Final Four, or are you wanting that capital M March Madness feel that we've had historically when all these great players were at some smaller schools?
Yeah, I think, and my opinion is I think this perspective has gotten a little overblown. I think the Cinderella stories in 2008, there was no NIL or portal, and there was all 4 number 1 seeds made it to the Final Four. I was there. It was a tough one for us too, but no, I like to see the best teams in the Final Four. I think that's the way it should be. But the transfer portal to me in college basketball, I just think there's too much change for kids. I think it's kind of hurting the game. I love basketball and I love to see high quality basketball. I'm not sure the coaches or the kids are getting coached like they used to when I was in school, just because kids leave the portal and it's hard to really develop a kid. But the one school I will say that I really enjoy watching is Houston, because they play hard, physical, they play the right way, and I think Calvin Sampson's done a great job. He hasn't gotten a lot of credit for what he's done there. But the Florida team, they've been playing well. Todd Golden's done a good job there. Elijah Martin was part of that. I think it was at Ron, I forgot what team he was
FAU.
on. Maybe FAU?
Yeah.
So, it's good to see a kid that is, can go from one program and have success at another program instantly. A lot of these transfers aren't really seeing that. We've had a lot of guys go from one program to the next that haven't really turned into better situations.
You talked about the last time this happened with 4 number 1s. You were there to see it. I'm reading about some of the Ken Palm stuff that you obsess over and the efficiency ratings.
Yeah.
And, like talking about, hey, these 4 teams are all 30 and untaken, 35 or whatever it is. They're saying these are the best teams ever, if you're to believe Ken Palm, basically. Like, is that, am I reading that wrong?
You're right. 4 of the best 10 ever.
So do you
Ken Palm going back to 96?
And I'm asking both of y'all, because I know you obsess over this stuff, Megan, but I want to hear what Tyler has to say is it a product of the average team not being as good because of the transfer portal? Is it a little bit of that? Is it the changing landscape and the metrics can't account for the changing landscape compared to what you were used to?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely hurt the product. I don't think the teams right now are as good as maybe when we didn't have the transfer portal. And the reason I say that is because a lot of, we won it my senior year. We came in there with the class in 2005, 2006, Danny Green, Marcus Ginyard, myself, Bobby Frazier, Mike Copeland, and we all developed and became a championship team our senior year. You're not seeing really teams stay together and build that chemistry. And I think living and actually practicing with, the same group of guys throughout years has a huge effect. It's chemistry and team building, but also it's hard to coach guys from year to year. And I do think they've got to smooth it out. And Chris, I'll say about Ken Palm is, if you were to watch most of the games this year, you wouldn't need Ken Palm to really tell you who the best 4 teams are. That's the one thing about analytics is people get so into it, but sometimes it's just the obvious answers. Like Houston's been good all year. Duke's been good all year. Florida's been good all year. These teams have been doing their thing all year. So, the analytics sometimes get a little blown out of proportion.
Going back to Duke, I want to ask you about Flag. 2 questions. Number 1, is he done growing? Like, did you play with anybody in college that continued to get taller? Because he's so damn young and he's so damn tall. That team's so long in general. And then 2, is there a pro comp for him that you've seen?
man, if he's not done growing, I mean, if he's going to grow more, that's scary. Man, he just impacts the game in so many different levels, and a lot of people are talking about how young he is. He's like 18. That's super young. I mean, I never even thought about the fact that if he grows 2 or 3 inches,
right?
I mean, you know, people laugh, but that's a game changer. Like those 2-3 inches, like adding that height, that makes a huge difference, especially in the NBA. My pro comp for Flag would definitely be, I think maybe Andre Karolinko, just because Karolinko impacted the game in so many different ways. He did it defensively. He was a shot blocker. He challenged guys. I think Flag may be a little bit better scorer, and Karolinko may be just a touch more athletic. But it's really hard to compare an 18-year-old to a, you know, kind of a seasoned NBA guy. But if he grows 2 or 3 inches, better watch out.
Well, yeah, because I watched the Giannis doc the other day, and I don't know how old he was his rookie year, but he grew like 2-3 inches or something. It's not crazy to say it's going to happen to Cooper Flag, but it kind of scared the shit out of me. If he stays in school and keeps growing, we have to get used to this guy. So having said all that, with Auburn being – I saw something where Auburn's average age is older than the Hawks, the Wizards, the Jazz, the Raptors. I think they're like 23 years old on average or something like that. Does that really matter in this scenario, or does that not outweigh how long guys have been together? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that has a huge impact, and that's kind of why Duke's, you know, run has been so, you know, it's been so impressive, is because there's a huge difference in a 23-year-old. And I think even somebody said they have a 26-year-old. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's a huge difference in like your body, your strength, years of training versus like a kid coming out of high school. You know, that you play football. I mean, tell me, I mean, there's a 24-year-old that's been training, that's put in the work versus some kid that's come out of high school that has a high ceiling, isn't really touched his potential, or really had a lot of weight room experience. I mean, there's just so much difference physically and athletically with that age gap.
What do you think made you so ready your freshman year? Because I mean, you came on the scene and you were scoring, and you were widely regarded as one of the best players in the league immediately. So, like, what made you ready? Were you throwing weights around in high school? Were you because your physical style of play showed up immediately?
My freshman year in high school, I walked in there. I was 6'6", 180. I was super skinny.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have a lot of weight room experience, and I still played really physical and kind of inside guy, but you know, the strength wasn't always there. That was something that I had to put in, but actually the nutrition was a big deal for me. I wasn't eating. I barely ate in high school, and I started working with the trainer, then started adding a little bit of weight. But when I got to Carolina, they had just won the national championship the year before, and so they had some really good players that I initially was supposed to go in there and kind of come off the bench for Sean May, who I thought would have been a great teammate, somebody that I could really learn a lot from. But he decided to go pro, and when I was getting recruited, I didn't really, expect to have this huge gap where I went to Carolina. I was just kind of, thrown in the fire and got a lot of experience that a lot of freshmen don't get right from the start, because a lot of their team left to go to the NBA draft. And so I started playing right away my freshman year. And obviously Carolina, Coach Williams, they went inside like every play. So I had to learn fast, and it worked out good for me.
Who else did you consider strongly out of high school, and what was it about the Roy Williams pitch that got you to Chapel Hill?
Well, coming out of high school, I was a huge Missouri Tigers fan, and their program got in a little bit of trouble, so it kind of opened the door for everyone else, and it came down to Florida, Kentucky, and North Carolina. I really liked Billy Donovan at Florida. They had a guy named David Lee who was from Missouri.
He lived in my building in St. Louis.
Nice.
David Lee was my neighbor. Great dude.
Yeah, he was a hooper back in high school, and I used to go to his games, and he was like one of my all-time favorite players. And being from Missouri, I really liked his game. And so he hosted me on my recruiting visit, which was really cool. And so obviously gave Florida a little bit of a, lead. But once I got to know Coach Williams and their staff, I really developed a good relationship with them. I liked North Carolina. And so I went to North Carolina because of Coach Williams. And, everyone recruited me pretty hard, but the final two schools were Kentucky and North Carolina. Tubby Smith was at Kentucky, and he developed a good relationship with my family. I thought he's a really good coach, but I like the staff at UNC, and that's why I went there.
If you had to describe Roy Williams' personality in a way that most people might be a little bit surprised, because you know a coach from the podium and from the sideline, but like we don't get to see what the relationships are like. What was Roy really like?
He does not hide like who he is on the sidelines and how he carries himself. What you see, that's Coach Williams. Like it's he's one of those guys that at any moment he could lay into you. Like he's serious, competitive, funny. But the most important thing that I learned from Coach Williams is no one prepares like he does. He was organized with his practice. He always had a practice plan. And he had the times, and he had when we would finish practice, which, you walk into the locker room, there's a practice plan on the board. You can see all the drills and kind of get ready for practice, and then when it's going to be done. That I really respected, and working hard all that stuff is something I really learned. But the one thing I will say about Coach that a lot of people don't know is he's a very intense golfer. And so I've teamed up with him a few times, and he puts more pressure on me on the golf course than any time I've ever played for him. He'll let me know that, hey, this putt right here, it's going to go this way, and this is for the hole, so you got to make it right before I putt.
That's great.
And I in my mind, I'm sitting there laughing. I'm like, Coach, I'm not a good putter, and I don't need this pressure. There's no way now I'm going to make this putt. Yeah, that's always one of my favorite things about Coach Williams is playing golf. He cracks me up.
We got to get you guys out to I got my charity golf tournament this week. Maybe next year we get you guys out there and you guys can win the whole damn thing because I have not seen a lot of good golf at my tournament. You talk about pressure. I think it was Texas Tech the other night couldn't hit free throws, and Florida, shoots their way back into the game. I live bet Florida very proudly when they were down 9 money line.
Smart.
It ended up being a thing of beauty, but what is it like when your team's missing those free throws in a big game? Do you guys talk about it? Do you not want to talk about it too much? Is it just like a dark cloud that's over the bench during timeouts? And how do you prepare for those moments? How did Roy put pressure on y'all in practice to make the game easier from that standpoint?
He never put pressure on us about making free throws, but when we started missing a few or weren't shooting well from the line, I could see on the practice plan it had free throws and running. So he would implement a little bit of pressure on us in practice. He would pick a guy, everybody's on the baseline. If he makes a free throw, we don't have to run. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
He would add, and I knew we weren't shooting well from the line, but free throws can get mental. And when I was playing, if I missed a little bit, I shot a ton of free throws. And so that was one thing I did all the way through high school. I used to make 100 free throws every single morning before school. And so I got kind of that routine down. And if I overthought my free throw, then I would miss it. If I'm hey, aim for the back of the rim, then I just drill the back of the rim. The best thing for me was I used to, play a song in my head to take me off from thinking about my form or where to aim. And whenever I did that, just sing the song, it kind of really helped. It made me stop thinking about the moment and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to go in if I just shoot it right.
Well, I kind of wonder which building it was the toughest to shoot free throws in, and you were a great free throw shooter as far as I understand. But you were 4-0 at Cameron. Was that a tough place to kind of dial in and shoot free throws, or was there a tougher building to play in that you thought didn't get enough credit?
I never went to the free throw line thinking I was going to. It didn't matter where I was. I kind of felt like that part of my game was, they were going to go in. It didn't matter really the environment. The toughest place, Maryland back in the day when they were part of the ACC.
Yeah, that
place could get rocking, and we walked out of there with some L's. That was a really tough place. And then back Florida State, when I played at Florida State, they always had it rocking. It seemed like us and Duke were always losing when we played at Florida State, and their environments were incredible. Tough place to play. Those two places come to mind, but I actually really enjoyed playing at Cameron. I know we won every game there, but the environment, like the old school feel, and the goals when they come down, they don't have like a big, they're not rolling them out there. They kind of hang down from the ceiling. That's like old school high school basketball, and I kind of liked it. So it was a pretty cool place to play.
Shitty locker room. Shitty visitors' locker room.
Actually, it wasn't that bad. You got more room, but like I always tell people, is like I wanted to spend as little time in that locker room as possible because I wanted to get back and celebrate with everybody on our campus after we beat them.
No question.
Can you get out of an interview without talking about Gerald Henderson, or is that sort of a batting 1,000 sort of thing at this point for you?
I'm not sure I can walk outside with somebody bringing that up. It just seems like I get hit with that question. I'm like, you don't even watch basketball. Why are you asking?
That was next on my list.
Yeah, I get asked about that a lot. People come up to me, he's like, "Oh, hey, you remember that game when you had, all that blood from your nose?" No, I forgot about it. Yeah, that incident. Me and Gerald. I hated Gerald for a long time, but I don't know if this is messed up, but I was going to get him back in some capacity. Cheap shot, whatever. And I know a lot of people kind of look down on that, but I was ready to do something about that, whether when we played each other in the NBA, but I never really happened. And years later, me and Gerald, he's actually a really good dude, and I consider him a friend now. We did a podcast. I like Gerald a lot, so we're kind of over that. But yeah, when that happened, that added a lot of fuel. And there's a lot of guys or students that kind of went after Gerald at UNC, and I absolutely love that.
The mercenaries. That's pretty good. All right, so talking about the tournament and upsets, man, like there weren't any big ones this year. You were a part of a team that got upset. Was it sophomore or freshman year? Was George Mason?
06.
That was my freshman year.
Freshman year. What's that like when you're a great team and you're playing, you got to win, 6-7 times or whatever it is to win the whole thing, and like you don't know which game it's going to be, I would assume, or is it a situation where you walk into that game and you feel like they're dangerous? And at what point during a game like that are you like, oh shit, it's happening? We watch UMBC when they beat us 16-1. It was like a nightmare, and I'm imagining what it's like on the bench. At what point do guys turn to each other and like, we're in trouble?
The George Mason game, that was a dogfight, and didn't shoot any free throws that game, I don't think. But those two bigs that they had for George Mason, man, they were physical, they were strong. In the momentum, they kind of had the momentum because they were the underdog, and they were kind of like everyone started pulling for them. Man, that game, I remember the second half. Usually Carolina, like, we start to bury teams in the second half because we run and teams get tired and they're not able to sustain that. But that game, I felt like I was just exhausted from having to, play physical inside against their two bigs. But they had the momentum. It was an off night. We were a super young team, and I think that's what makes the tournament so special. I know we've got the all number one seeds, but anybody can beat anybody. McNeese knocked out Clemson this year. That was a major upset, or the upset people talk about, but that's what makes the tournament special. And I will say, that those losses kind of helped us later on down the road, instead of being just like a really good team. Went into the tournament my senior year. We were actually really focused. We knew how to approach the tournament and how to take everyone serious. So I think those losses really helped later on.
And then having been through a couple tournaments, I mean, and under your belt, when you went and won the Natty, and you guys kind of from the outside looking in, it looks like a breeze, but it's not, obviously, when you're playing. But they're all double-digit wins, man. And I kind of wonder at the end of it, was that the freshest y'all felt after a tournament run, or does it not matter whether you're playing close games or not? 40 minutes is 40 minutes.
No, my whole senior year I played hurt. I had a stress fracture in my shin that I was managing, and I just couldn't really work like I wanted it. And man, whenever we won it in Detroit, it was just a huge relief. I felt like a lot of weight was lifted off my shoulders. We were getting pressure from the outside. It's hard to block that out when you're a college kid. And Coach Williams was riding me the whole year. He was on me harder my senior year than he was my freshman year because I think he really wanted to win it too. And yeah, it was definitely not the freshest, but I think that's the most confident team or approach we had to the tournament because I felt like we knew. We got smacked last year in the Final Four. The year before that to Kansas, and we knew that we couldn't have a letdown or get too happy about being at the Final Four. We were a little bit more determined in 2009.
I want to talk about the NBA, man, because you got to spend some time in the NBA. You played overseas and, getting drafted by the Pacers and just played with and against some amazing players, dude. Like the first thing I remember about the Pacers teams that you were on was it was like LeBron and the Pacers in the playoffs. Like y'all had some battles. Do you remember the first time you saw LeBron in person, and what were your takeaways?
The first time I actually saw him in person, I went to one of his games. I think I might have been actually my senior year in high school or whatever, when he played at Memphis, because my hometown was like 2.5 hours from Memphis too. And so drove over and saw, he's like, LeBron is he's so quick and athletic. It's really hard to pick that up on TV. Plus he's very strong as well. But the thing about LeBron, I always tell people, is it's not the fact that he's strong. It's just like nobody is that strong that moves that fast or is that quick. And so you get caught off guard once he hits you, and then he's just right by you. And we had some battles. Those Pacer teams, we were a big physical team. He was the Miami teams. We took them to Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I remember the Game 7 was in Miami, and he came out, and I've never seen LeBron so focused in a game. He lit us up. There was no way we were walking out of Miami winning that game, and he was super impressive. And my brother was on the team during that time too. I looked over at him, and I was just like, man, it's hard to believe that somebody's actually better than LeBron. He just does everything. He's so athletic. It's incredible.
Do you feel like guys kind of feared him? Was there a mystique about him, or they talk about Jordan back in the day, like people were afraid of Jordan, and part of that probably is just there's less sound bites on the guy out there. Like it's a different generation. Like now, we get kind of beat over the head with like LeBron sound bites, and you've heard him talk in interviews and that sort of thing. But was there a mystique, where guys were like, man, we got to play LeBron the next round, and what did the veterans have to say about it? Because I remember being a rookie, getting ready to play a great player, the vets would be like, this is what it's going to be like. He's going to come down, dunk the basketball, and the top's going to come off the place, and we're going to find out in the first 5 minutes, some football version of that speech. Was it like that, getting ready to play a series against him, where guys had a lot of stories to tell, or was it just like, hey, it's time to go?
Playing against LeBron, it's just so hard to guard him. And the reason I say that is just because he's so smart and he always makes the right plays. I remember Game 1 in when we played them and we made that big run. Our game plan was to trap LeBron even in the mid post. And by halftime, we had gone in there and we had totally wiped that out because he knew where the double team was coming from. His team knew how to move whenever we doubled, and he was just putting everybody in position to score. And so we had to switch our whole game plan that we had prepared for almost a week with a lot of practices. We had to throw that out the window at halftime and switch it up because he was just destroying us. But the tough thing about that team was not only did they have LeBron, D Wade's a tough one too.
Yeah.
Chris Bosh is a really hard guy to guard once he gets going. but there's just so many guys on that team that, are, tough to guard, and were some of the best players in the NBA at that time.
And we got to get a Lance Stevenson question in since we're on LeBron. You weren't on the team when he blew in his ear, were you? This is after you, right? And
I don't think so, man. Lance did so much stuff.
That's what I want to hear about is all the stuff that Lance did.
You remember, I mean, born ready. Man, Lance means well. He's man, when he came in, so his locker was literally right beside mine, and he was one of the most immature rookie I've ever been around. Yeah. That's like one thing that a lot of these one and done players, like I can tell that they haven't had the coaching that, like a 4-year guy had, and you can tell, they can act up or talk back a little bit. But there was a big learning curve with Lance, and as far as how to talk to coaches and stuff like that. But he figured it out. He's one of the funniest teammates I've ever had in my life. He will crack you up, but he did a lot of antics like the blow in the ear and stuff like that, just off the wall, that were hilarious.
They seem great. maybe tough to rely on game day, rookie Lance, but to watch him on TV was cinema.
Danny Granger said that you used to scare your Pacers teammates by screaming and grunting while lifting weights. Fact or fiction?
No, not at the Pace. No way I did that at Indy. Maybe Granger was looking to get something out of that. Maybe that was at Carolina. Actually, we used to lift hard at Carolina.
Did you?
But, we Olympic lift. We did power cleans.
No way.
We did it all. I mean, you're an NFL guy. We're not going to impress you. I mean,
I'm impressed. I threw my back out last week, fucking flipping a tire, thinking I was 30 again, dude. No, I'm impressed. So like power cleans. What else? Because, like, is this a normal thing for basketball teams to do Olympic lifting? Like, teams around the ACC right now, are they doing power cleans and stuff, you think?
No, I don't see that. We do barbell back squat at Carolina. We have one of the best strength coaches I've ever been around, Jonas Saration. So, to learn all that technique and form, and especially in Olympic lifting, it takes a long time, and a lot of coaches aren't willing to put in that work or can't really teach it all that well. But at Carolina, we got after it, and that was like one of my favorite team bonding activities, actually going to the weight room and training really hard, putting the music on, getting after it. But, yeah, we trained hard at Carolina.
Can we get a PR, bro? Were you from the floor? Were you cleaning from the floor, or were you picking it up and cleaning it? Do we have a Psycho T PR that we can share?
I don't think I have any. We cleaned from the blocks, actually. We didn't bring it from the floor. I don't know if that's like.
I bet you were still pretty damn explosive. No, that's pretty impressive, though, that y'all were doing it all. Do you feel like you kind of skirted the question a little bit off the top? Do you feel like you are is there an argument that you're the best player ever at UNC? I mean, I know you're probably going to be humble about it, but where do you put yourself? I mean, realistically.
Man, that's a tough question to answer me. I mean, I would, I feel like as a player, I feel confident. Like if I were to play against anybody, any one of those players that went to Carolina when I was in school, I kind of felt like I would have did my thing. And, I was part of a lot of good teams too. So I think that helps. But yeah, I would say I think I deserve to be in that category. But
Mount Rushmore of UNC. We got to do the Mount Rushmore.
I don't care. I mean, everyone has their opinion. I didn't have the NBA career that a lot of the top UNC guys had. But, in college, I kind of feel like, I'm right there with them.
Yeah, you got to be, bro. I was looking at your stats the other day. I'm like, damn.
If you give me every sport, I'll give you a Mount Rushmore.
Okay, give me a Mount Rushmore.
Mia Hamm.
Okay.
Lawrence Taylor. Tyler Hansbrough. Bill Belichick.
Yeah, Coach Belichick. Are you going to go meet Coach, man? You going to go to a practice or something? Go to a game this fall?
Absolutely. Billy B, man, I still can't believe we got Belichick. Like a lot of people, I'm actually really excited. I've actually quickly met him. Came over and said, "Hey, I'm Bill," and I said, "Hey, I'm Tyler." And then we both went our separate ways. But I'm pumped to have him. I'm excited. I'm absolutely going to be at the
see if you got some eligibility left. I think you should have played football, bro. So talking about the pros, the last guy I wanted to ask you about before we get to talking about China is Lou Williams. Lou Williams had 2 girlfriends. And he had like code names for him, and he was very open about this. You played with Lou Williams. Did you meet both girlfriends? Did he bring both girlfriends around, or was that like a known thing that he was a polygamist of sorts?
They sat next to each other there at every game. I mean, Lou Williams off the court for doing that. I mean, I'm not sure he could do anything basketball-wise to ever really top that. For some of his accomplishments off the court. Man, I love Lou Williams. We were actually the same high school class, but
no way.
Yeah, it was absolutely. So I knew him a little bit, but man, that was very impressive. And they were, and his girlfriends. They looked. I mean, they were impressive. They weren't like there were some smoke shows. Like it would have been, in fact, like if he brought 2 girls, like they're all right, but he found something that works. No, these 2 girls were like model hot, and both of them sat at the game, and it was hilarious. But much respect to Lou. Yeah,
I just
great
wish
teammate
I could
too.
have heard some of those conversations in the locker room with Lou. Man, that's crazy. He seemed like an all-time guy too. As if that wasn't enough. All right, so the China experience, man. Like I heard a story where you played the entire season and didn't know that your coach spoke a little bit of English. Is that true?
Yeah, it's absolutely. My first year, I laughed about it as soon as it made so much sense to me after I'd spent so much time in China. And so the whole year I had a translator, and he would, translate between me and the coach. And then after the season was over, I was leaving. He came over and talked to me, full conversation in English, never acknowledged anything I said or acted like he knew what I was saying while I played for him. But I left, I was like, man, that's brilliant on his behalf. And, he always wanted to know what I was thinking. And, it was funny, but also I'll never know if I actually learned Chinese, because that was kind of common. I mean, people would be like, yeah, I don't know what you're saying, even though I felt like, hey, I'm saying this perfect in Chinese. Why are you not understanding me? But yeah.
Dude, he just was like, good season, brother.
No, it was a much longer conversation. He's like, I really enjoyed coaching you. Take care. Yeah, you had a good year. Thank you. And maybe we can get back together at some point playing like stuff like that. I was blown away and laughed about it. But
that's so good. And is this the same coach that's smoking darts and in practice and at the half?
Man, he'd be so pissed if he knew I was.
He's not going to hear this.
No, his wife know that he smoked. That was the one thing about it. Like his son would come around and be like, I'm going to tell mom you're smoking if you don't let me have these games and stuff like that. Hey, man, every coach I had in China smoked. It wasn't like it was just one coach. It was that was really eye-opening. Going through a pre-game game plan on the board, and the coach had a cig in. And I always tell people, like, he never took a break. He was talking out of one side of the mouth with the cig in the other side, and he was also puffing out the other side too. That was very impressive. I only had one coach do that, but yeah, most of them were smoking in the locker room.
That's really impressive. I mean, to be able to draw up a pick and roll or something with a dart in your mouth and just burn it. What was it? Was it a Chinese cigarette or an American brand? Do you remember?
No, it's Chinese. Chinese for sure. They would smoke on the sideline if they let them.
How were the Chinese heaters? Did you ever partake in a
I've never smoked a cigarette ever.
Really?
Attaboy.
I haven't since Friday night.
I hate the
smell. I had a party the other night because I turned 40. Are you 40 yet, Tyler?
No, not yet.
No, it sucks. But we had a party, and at the end of the night, I was pretty hammered, and I started ripping cigs, and somebody's like, "You smoking cigarettes?" I said, "Well, my fucking parents are gone, so I can do whatever I want." I look over my right shoulder. My dad had walked back in looking for his keys. So yeah, I mean, so I want to ask you about when you were playing for the. God, are we going to try to do this?
Do it.
You can coach me on my pronunciation. The Xinjiang Flying Tigers, was that, or the Lions? Xinjiang Lions? Were you on the Lions? Did you play in Xinjiang?
The Golden Bulls, dude.
No, that's Hangzhou. It's Guangzhou Long Lions. Maybe they changed their name. I don't know, but I'll just say, man, playing in China was actually some of my favorite basketball memories.
I bet it was awesome.
Dude, I love playing in China. I absolutely loved my time there. It was, for me, my NBA career really wasn't going the way I wanted. Just to be honest with you guys, I put so much pressure on myself to, succeed and tell people I could be an NBA player that, I just kind of was counterproductive. And so going to China really got me away from criticism or trying to have expectations. Just got back to getting in the gym, working on my game, and really playing the game for the right reasons. I love the game of basketball, and I wasn't really playing it, that way in the NBA. And when I got to China, I got back to what I loved doing. I was a bigger part of the team. And also I couldn't really understand people because of the language barrier. And, it was good for me.
It probably just simplified things. And I do have more China questions, but I want to stay here. You were bummed out about the whole – I mean – obviously, it's your life goal to play probably 15, 20 years in the NBA, but, that seems like the toughest league to make a jump to. I mean, there's just so few players, and, I mean, I kind of wonder when you got up there and you started feeling like, oh, this isn't going the way I want it to go, which me, on the sideline watching, I'm like, man, he's in the fucking NBA, dude. He's a star. But in your head, you're disappointed or whatever. What was it that made the jump so hard? And – looking back, is there anything that you learned about yourself going to the NBA, that you didn't know when you came in?
Yeah, first of all, the reason I put so much expectations on myself is because I had such a successful college career, and there was so much controversy about whether I was going to translate to the NBA. I wanted to tell everybody, hey, look, my game translates, and I can be, doesn't matter. And I really wanted to have a good NBA career to prove a lot of people wrong instead of, play the game for what it is. And I think in any professional sports, I think going to the right place and kind of having a little bit of luck is a huge deal. And I think, you look at a guy like Danny Green, who kind of bounced around a little bit, then went to San Antonio, and it was like a great fit. And then obviously his NBA career after that just kind of took off. And so I'm not blaming the fit, but I think my mentality going to the NBA was a little bit wrong. And I wish I would have approached it a little bit different and not, listen to the media or take what they said so personal. So that's where I kind of went a little wrong. And I think that's why I got away from really enjoying the game like I used to back in college and, when I was a super young kid.
Well, probably the thing that made you great was you do take everything personal. It's hard when somebody's like, "Don't take it personal." I'm like, "Well, fuck that. It's my whole life." You know what I mean?
No, I'm a totally different dude now. I mean, if somebody comes up and says, "F you, Tyler," something like that, I would just laugh now. And back in the day, I'd be like, "Let's go." But yeah, it's just a different mentality. So
I feel like today do you think it's harder? It's easier in some ways to be a professional athlete and be a college athlete because you're getting paid and all, yada, 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 and they're taking care of you. But I feel like it's also harder in a lot of ways. Old timers, quote unquote, like you and me might say, "Oh, these kids got it so easy." But in reality, I don't know if I could have held up to the scrutiny. I mean, social media, all that shit, being able to, I mean, you had to go pick up a newspaper to see yourself get criticized back in the day. Now it's just on your phone. You know what I mean? You open your social media and it just floods in. And there's a lot of expectations now. Do you think it's easier or tougher to balance all that stuff now?
It's really hard to say. I think it may be a little tougher. And the reason I say that is because as a college kid, when you see your peers or stuff on social media criticizing you or talking smack, I think that can have a little weight. The one thing that I do, like I do a lot of analyst work for college basketball. I never try to criticize a player just because I know that if I were in college and I had a former player kind of come at me or criticize, me as a person or something like that, that would have bothered me. But yes, definitely today's game. I think it's, with social media and stuff, I think it's tougher just because they're peers. And later on, once you get a little bit older, like you probably understood, a lot of these guys that have these opinions that you used to really care about, and they're kind of losers themselves. I mean, it's not like they're really coaches or experts. They're just writing for somebody.
Yeah, no question. But as a former player, I feel that you doing that, what you're doing now, which, by the way, you do a great job of it. That's when I heard you talking basketball, I was like, man, I fucking like this guy, dude. Put the UNC thing aside, but like the criticism thing, I struggle with that too. Like, and I got to do it all the time. I got to break down every game. So I definitely feel that. But I think if it's coming from a respectful place, you can do it. And I'm sure you seem like a guy who puts yourself in the shoes of the player, because some guys forget that they were the player. You know what I mean? And that's where they go wrong. But yeah, no, Tyler, appreciate you coming on, dude. And, we always enjoyed watching you play. Glad to put the UVA hate aside. And a best compliment I can give you, man, you were like a high motor player. You ever hear that term in football? High motor? It means the guy just doesn't stop. He's got you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've never heard that in football just because I don't watch probably as much football as nearly as much as you guys. But, yeah, it's always, been a quality of mine.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, it was fun to watch. And best of luck to you on all the analyst stuff now. And one last question: who's going to win the whole thing?
Houston. I think Sampson's a great coach. And I know they're playing Duke. I'm not just saying that because they're playing Duke. I actually really enjoy watching Houston play, and I want them to do it.
There we go. We're on the Cougars now too.
Yep.
Tyler Hansbrough, everybody. Thanks for coming on the show, dude.
Thanks, fellas.
I'm praying that Piper has a terrible time at that monastery.
I think
maybe Jesus will save us from the Buddhists.
Prayers answered.
Macon, what do you think about the episode of White Lotus last night?
I think that
titled Killer Instincts.
Tim Ratliff, played by Jason Isaacs, is the worst written and worst acted character in television history.
Come on, you don't follow the trends. This isn't you.
Dude.
You're just copying a bad take.
I'm not, because it went the other way and people were like, oh, come Emmy season, is this going to be Goggins or Isaacs? I'm like, what?
Neither
is doing anything.
Not your take or this take.
Jason Isaacs.
Do you think that he met, because when he met, okay, spoilers for people, just skip over this like 3 minutes as we get into this podcast, but when Goggins goes and meets the guy that killed his dad, are we still on it's probably his dad, not the guy that killed his dad train? Because I thought when he said the woman's name, he was like, whoa. And then he was processing. He couldn't speak up because he was shocked that it's his son. I think he left and she was pregnant.
Well,
I think he disappeared to Taiwan.
That. Yes.
And then
didn't
know he existed.
Hollinger, dad, says, my kind of guy, the way he drinks his whiskey. And then they bear some resemblance. He's looking at old pictures, all that sort of stuff. I'll tell you this, my friend. If that is the way we wrap up the Goggins story of this season, we only have one episode left.
Right.
And he's probably got to hightail it back to the White Lotus because he just knocked over the old man.
Yeah, except he didn't, because he went out with Sam Rockwell, who still likes ladyboys.
10 months sober.
And cocaine.
Yep. If that's the end to that story.
Yeah.
Whoo, boy. Unfulfilling.
You think it's unfulfilling?
Yeah.
I also think it's possible that the guy, knowing that it's his son, he told his guards that he fell.
Sure.
I think he was like, I fell.
Sure.
That's my son. We're not going to go kill my son because he was justifiably mad at me. It's been a giant misunderstanding.
I'm with you. But Goggins told us for 5 consecutive television hours that he had to get to Bangkok. And the conclusion there is, sometimes we make mountains out of molehills.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. Who was the guy that played the guy that got knocked over there?
Scott Glenn?
Scott Glenn. He was in Firestorm with my dad.
No way.
Yeah, I knew I recognized him.
That's cool.
I actually like Scott Glenn. I remember being on the set of Firestorm and liking Scott Glenn. Unlike Christian Slater's brother on the set of Broken Arrow, who made fun of me for not knowing what a blowjob was. Fucking weirdo. No, I'm sure he's cool. We've all grown a lot. Yeah. So, any other?
You were what, 19?
Yeah, I was like,
Got
just
him.
a couple years ago. It was the Broken Arrow sequel.
Sure. Fire away. I got lots of thoughts.
What year did Broken Arrow come out? Because I want to make sure this wasn't too.
We're gonna have to cut this.
Yeah. No, we're not. 1996. I was 11.
Okay. Good for you.
Fair. Yeah.
That's okay not to know what a
Oh,
blowjob
yeah,
is
yeah.
at 11.
Absolutely.
That's 4th, 5th grade, right?
One of those.
there.
Perfectly acceptable.
I hadn't repeated yet.
For a loser.
Yeah. Who taught you how to give your first blowjob? Anyways, we get to the show now.
White Lotus. It better be a
I saw the Severance finale.
banger of a finale. What'd you think?
All right, here was my takeaway, and I think it's a smart guy takeaway. So try not to rain on my parade. But I think the takeaway for me is that everybody's innie is more brave and decisive and bold. I mean, like I repeat a million, but just everybody's innie was just better than their outie, because all the outies are beaten down by life. They're beaten down by the world. These innies, like Mark S's innie,
Headstrong.
right down to his last decision, which was like, fuck them. Like, I'm in love with Heliar. And if we go out in or the guy, big guy, push the vending machine in on Milchek.
Yeah, Dylan.
Yeah, very brave.
Yep.
Heliar's, her innie, much better person objectively than the person, her outie.
Egan.
Yes. They're all better versions of themselves. And so the message for me would be like, there's an innie inside you.
Nice.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I
Tap into that fucking innie.
That hit
Yeah.
Tanner hard.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Right?
I'm tapping into
This
my
is
innie
your innie. This is your innie here.
from here on out.
Yeah.
Innie.
Yeah. And then on top of it,
Didn't Dylan's outie though? Wasn't he like, hey man, it's up to you? That was kind of cool, right? In that note.
yeah, I guess it was cool, but like Dylan's outie was clearly beaten down by like, the irony is his wife's like, I don't really like your outie. Your innie's much better. The only difference between the innie and the outie is being married to her. You know, that's another thing. Well, the innie's just a single guy. He works all day. He doesn't have to think about half the shit he's thinking about at home. No wonder he's all beat down by life. You're hooking up with his innie.
Guy Talk's gonna get killed.
You think?
I mean, I don't know.
I think he goes postal.
Okay.
Which I don't know if you can say that anymore, but like, I can say whatever I want. It's 2025.
That's right.
If I want to run for a third term, I can run for a third term. There are no fucking rules. So yeah, I think Guy Talk goes.
No, you're right.
I think he
That's
goes
more
postal.
likely. Yeah. Yeah.
Because anyways, we don't need to go back to White Lotus.
Okay.
But what do you think about the Severance finale?
I thought it was good. It comes down to the women at the end of the day, you know?
Yeah.
Mark standing there with the Gemma or a Helly decision.
Yeah.
An innie or an outie decision. And Gemma, by the way, you should probably start walking away from the facility at this
Right,
point.
because you save yourself.
Uh-huh.
So what are you going to kill Mark S's innie and thus his outie as well?
Season 3 opener, everybody's dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was fun while it lasted.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really get any closure on your mother-in-law's lookalike.
Oh, Harmony Cobell.
Yep.
Yep.
Is that an okay thing to say?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah. She looks like
Harmony
Patty
Cobell.
Arquette.
Yep. Yeah.
Patricia Arquette's the
That's her name?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah.
She's married to David Arquette?
Sister of David Arquette.
Okay, interesting.
Yep.
More you know. And now, sports. We're going to roast the fuck out of the coach's team picture. and just shoot the shit a little bit. This has become a real thing in sport. You know why it's so great? Because this is a really dead time, and nobody feels like watching a bunch of draft clips. That's what Nolan's for. Nolan's digging in on we'll talk about the draft as it gets a little bit closer. But, like, there's nothing to talk about. The first wave of free agency's over. There's March Madness going on. It's kind of a dead time. And this coach's picture from the league meeting has become like a care package for sports media types. Everybody's excited when this thing comes out. And this might be the best one yet. The lighting is impeccable.
They had to go indoors on account of weather.
Did they really?
Yeah.
What is this superimposed background? Does it just show where they are?
It's the hotel of where they're at.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? All right. So where do we start? There's so much. I got to say, maybe the most jarring thing in the whole, my hollow man is Coach Callahan, second from the right, front row. He's not even looking in the right direction.
Yep.
He's looking stage left. Now, if you're listening to the podcast on audio, we've included a high-resolution photograph. If you're listening while driving, you'll have to just pull over. But this is solid gold. Callahan, stage left, not even looking at the photographer. Right next to him, I mean, this is lorazepam,
dude,
personified is Kyle Shanahan.
My pills are now totally missing.
Well, maybe you didn't bring them. You're always losing things.
They were in my purse. My whole prescription is gone.
Mom, you don't need that stuff.
Oh, I feel trapped, Piper.
Nobody
Get me out of here.
Hurting more than Kyle Shanahan.
He is hurting, bro. What's going on with Kyle Shanahan?
I don't know. The off-season departures perhaps catching up. CMC's tweak something.
He looks like the guy in a Christmas card who's dead inside, and everybody who gets the Christmas card can tell he hates his family. But he's dressed up. He's posing for the picture. This is awful. It's the most unhappy coach I've ever seen in this picture.
He's letting the gray grow out in the beard. He's very tan. At least, here's something, Chris. I don't think men have ever been taught in the history of mankind how to sit.
There's a lot going on with the sitting. I'm glad you brought this up. I have, by my count, 4 guys in the front row who are like, yeah, here are my nuts.
Correct. Now,
Andy Reid, namely.
Yes.
And if you look back at last year's picture, he went hands clasped. And I think in his mind, he's like, listen, if I show the world my balls, we win the Super Bowl.
At a young age, ladies are taught how to sit. We never get this lesson.
We never got this lesson.
Now, some of the fellas are being wise with hands clasped or a dark pant. But if you're wearing a khaki or a light gray.
Or a khaki short.
You're exposed.
You know how I love Nick Sirianni so much because he's so everyman. He really is like a regular guy. Like, he looks superimposed into the picture. Can you enhance?
Took the hat off.
Zoom in. The hat is the best. My STL Memorial Award is his hat. The fact that, and last year, if you look, Dennis Allen wore his hat. Well, he's not with us anymore. So Nick Sirianni wisely brought his new era fitted cap to the coaches convention, but then put it on the ground to be respectful at his feet. It's unbelievable.
You guys were talking about sitting. Look at it's a nice little pattern until it's fucked up. You've got 4 hands clasped, looking left to right, 4 in a row hands clasped, and you got 4 in a row hands on knees. Then you've got 3 hands clasped until you get to Jim Harbaugh.
Okay, we'll just stop right here and talk about Jim Harbaugh. He's got great posture, but he doesn't know what to do with his hands. He can't control his hands.
I'm seeing slumped shoulders. You're seeing a good posture?
Well, I'm seeing that he's
ready.
Yeah, he's ready. He can get up more easily than anybody else. If something happened, like he had to fight another coach.
This is like a dad holiday picture. You know, like Christmas, and you got the tree off to the right side. Everybody gather around dad for holiday picture, whatever.
I mean, and Jim has a hard time generally sitting still, I think. Such a hard time that he's ready to get up and his hands cannot be clasped.
Yeah.
He's done this. I mean, if you look in last year's picture, he's got the same right hand covered by the left palm. That's a weird fucking way to sit. And then you've got Stefanski giving off mortician vibes. Right?
Yeah.
Like
hottest piece of ass in the photograph. And poor Harbaugh sandwiched between the old holder of that title, Pete Carroll, 75-year-old Fox.
I knew we'd get to the part where you talked about how
some of these men are attractive. I mean, we're talking about pictures of people in a photograph. There's Dave Canales.
Dave Canales.
Who was cheating on who?
Dave Canales looks like Dave Canales is innie. Like he's just unencumbered by any of the worries of the world. He's just that hollow stare.
If you had to describe the attire instructions you think somebody in the NFL office wrote for this picture, what would they have said?
Well, Dan Campbell was like, dress like you dressed in 2007. Well, dust that 4X polo. That's a 4X polo.
At least. Look how long it is.
Because I used to wear polos like that. I'm wearing a collar today for once.
Nice.
But I used to wear like polos like that. And it was a hideous stage. But I was wearing like 2Xs, 2X talls, 3Xs. Dan Campbell's wearing a 4X, possibly a 4X tall.
There's no way that he has any other polos in the closet.
No chance.
Like it's this one, maybe two others, but they're the same, look and fit. And then it's just athletic dry fit.
Now the worst shirt is right next to him. I give a best shirt, worst shirt. Best shirt, Mike Vrabel. That's a shirt I would wear. Pan over to Mike Vrabel. That's a shirt that I own that shirt. Like I legitimately probably own that shirt.
I wish there were a bit more collar integrity. It's a little bit of a loose collar.
He's not worried about it. And then the worst shirt. Any guess?
I thought you were going to say Mike Tomlin. Were you not going to say Mike Tomlin?
I wasn't going to say Mike.
I thought you were going to say it was next to Dan.
Why is the worst shirt Mike Tomlin?
Well, it's showing that he's got a bit of a fitness issue that could have been easily hit.
No, listen, man. When a guy wears their deficiencies for the world to see, like, hey, I'm not worried about how this shirt looks. Maybe you're seeing a little boob, like, no problem. I think that man's supremely confident.
Honestly, if I'm saying worst shirt, we've already talked about the man. I think it's the shiny metallic Jim Harbaugh shirt.
It's not a great shirt, but I'm giving it to Sean Payton because that's not a fucking Q-zip. Stop wearing your zip up like a Q-zip, you psychopath.
Interesting.
Zoom in on that. Who wears a zip up like a Q-zip? Just buy a Q-zip, bro.
Enhance. Okay. Yeah, that's a good call.
The other thing is, like, is Ben Johnson big now?
He's sitting big.
No, he's big, which is crazy. You remember I pointed out that Brad Holmes had gotten huge. Nolan, I texted you one night, and he was up in the luxury box, and he looked fucking huge. It looked like him and Dan Campbell, they work out together. And Ben Johnson's big now, and it leads me to believe that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell eat all the food in Detroit. So, like, there's no food for any of the other people. The alphas, they get everything. And then, like, they send Ben Johnson away, and finally he can eat. It's like a kid who couldn't eat in high school going and getting a college training table.
Perhaps this was at UNC, but Ben Johnson does have a wiki listing of 6'1", 195.
I think he might be bigger now.
Wow.
Making Gannon and Aaron Glenn
look kind of
smaller guys than I would have thought.
Diminutive. And what's Gannon doing with those shoes?
The shoes.
You like the shoes?
No, I don't. These guys.
The pants. What's up with rolling up the pants at the bottom?
Your dad gave me shit for my shoes this weekend, as he does no matter
what kind of shoes you're
what
wearing.
I'm
you
wearing.
can wear Skechers.
But people, I was like, I don't even have to touch them when I slip them in. We need to figure out shoes.
Yeah.
As 40-plus-year-old men. The Andy Reid situation looks uncomfortable.
It looks his situation looks uncomfortable indeed.
And then Sean McDermott is trying a little too hard with those Nikes. What are those?
He's been doing that. Those Air Force Ones or Dunks?
I think those are Dunks.
I wouldn't know. I don't try to be cool anymore.
But if you're in this picture, do you just wear white ass
If I'm
sneakers?
in this fucking picture, I dress like Mike Vrabel. If you're wondering what I would do in this picture, I would just do exactly what Mike Vrabel's doing.
Okay, but what if you're seated? Because clearly you want to be standing.
My
if you're
dumbass
seated?
would be wearing khakis and I'd probably accidentally sit like one of the guys that are in the front. You know what I mean? How awkward would that be if, like, you know, you're Andy Reid and you're like 30 minutes later, you see the picture, you're like, or after you get up, you're like, man, there are my balls. And then you have to make everybody sit back down. Like, do you get everybody to sit back down, or do you just wear it?
Absolutely, you ask everybody to sit back down.
Well, he didn't. And here's another one. Fucking Kellen Moore. First, I was like,
is that Caroline Wozniacki?
Well, first I was like, Kellen Moore is a head coach. Oh yeah. And then second, I was like, Jesus, he looks like if Adam Carolla, Howie Long, and Nolan Mert went to Thailand together
for a night with former WTA star Caroline Wozniacki.
He really does. He looks like our very own Nolan Mert mixed with Howie Long, mixed with Caroline Wozniak, mixed with Adam Carolla.
Yeah.
LaFleur got pec implants or something. Look at those pecs.
Duval.
Look at the pecs. Enhance.
On LaFleur?
LaFleur does pec deck all day. That's all he does.
But, well, talk about a pec. It's hard to get definition like that on a Kevin O'Connell shirt.
KOC. He's in the weight room.
Are we just so used to whatever the hell his name is, Mike McDaniels, that we skip over him now?
Yeah, I'm kind of like, all right, Mike's doing his Mike thing, you know? Yeah, me and Tyreek are fine. That's if me and Tyreek are fine, we're a person. It's Mike McDaniel. Did you hear that, by the way?
Yes.
They're fine.
Yeah, which is good.
It's good because the guy didn't just quit in the last game. Get control of your team, Mike. Big fan.
What do you think of Brian Schottenheimer's initial, first head coaching?
That's
shot?
A very like Dallas, like a blue button down.
Yep.
Kind of thing. And most people seeing this are like, who the fuck is that guy?
Right.
Well, I know who he was. I know who he is because he coached for the Rams back in the day. Shoddy.
Zach Taylor has very golf pro vibes.
Zach Taylor, just a total like down the middle kind of situation going on.
Like all the, kind of moms at the club, older ladies want to get golf lessons.
But they put Pete Carroll in between the Harbaughs. Like that had to be a thing where they were like, we sit next to each other? Nah, Pete, get in here. We can't sit next to each other.
And there is only 31 coaches here. We're missing Raheem Morris.
All right, theory. Stop it right there. If I didn't know any of these people, I'd say some of the coolest looking cats are Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, and Ben Johnson, of famously all on the same staff last year. Is the no tooth smile?
It's in, bro.
I don't know what my theory is.
I love the no tooth smile. I'm into it. I think Sirianni sitting next to McDermott is hilarious, considering everything going on with the tush push.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm. That's a great question.
I'm gonna tell you who I think you are.
Any more guidance on that question?
Who are you in this picture? Shanahan looks like he's got diarrhea. It's like fucking Callahan. Honestly,
do you think Vrabel's smiling so much because he's right above Callahan? He's like, yo, I remember Tennessee.
No, I think he's smiling because he's just like, he's not locked in. He's like, fuck this stupid shit. I can't believe we have to do this stupid shit. And he's probably all hungover because he probably went out drinking the night before, and he's just like, this is stupid.
I know who I am.
Who? I think you're Taylor.
Oh, fuck you. That's awful.
Or Ben Johnson.
No.
I was going to say Ben Johnson.
No.
Well, Ben's looking a little muscular.
I'm a too small guy. I care about collar integrity.
Don't tell me you're Kellen Moore.
No.
Am I supposed to guess?
I guess so.
Are you Shane?
I'm D'Amico Ryans. Keep going.
Good. That's good.
Okay.
That's okay. That's good.
I mean, I like.
Yeah.
I don't really want to be there, but I'm there. I'm gonna give you a good smile. My collar's not drooping like Mike Vrabel's. I'm D'Amico Ryans. Who are you?
Dave Canales. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I would be doing. I would just be, if I had anxiety, I'd probably look like fucking, if my anxiety was bad, I'd probably look like Gannon. And if I was in a good mood, I'd probably look like Vrabel. This is either corner.
Yeah, you're Vrabel.
I'd be Vrabel. But if I was a little anxious, I'd probably be Gannon. Sitting over there not smiling at all. All right, so talking about the league meeting. Hard right turn. What are they talking about? They're still talking about the damn tush push. I think the funniest thing was seeing Sean McDermott questioned about this. Actually, I saw this morning. He's at the league meetings. This is a guy who, by the way, ran the tush push with regularity last year. And they asked him about it. And he's like, it's unsafe. That's why I'm against it. It's just a player safety issue. And they're like, what kind of player safety? Because all the data says it's not unsafe. He's like, well, it's just they're pushing the guys, and that's And then they ask him, hey, let's say it doesn't get outlawed, and you vote against it. Will you stop running it next year? And he turned into a politician. He turned into an American politician. Go listen to his answer. He doesn't answer the question at all. He just talks in circles. So what that tells me is he's absolutely going to run it next year, and he's going to look like a fool when he does. He said that he's worried about the player safety aspect of it. If he ever runs it again, I will take that as an admission that he doesn't care about his players. I know he cares about his players. So what are we doing? What are we doing, Sean? And the funniest quote was Nick Sirianni, who said, and I'm paraphrasing, I better get 3 fucking votes against this motion from, namely, John Gannon, Kellen Moore, and who else? Shane Steichen, because they all have jobs because of this play, which is a little bit reductive. It's not all about the play, but the play had a lot to do with it. And so those guys are in a real pinch. This is kind of an interesting situation. Fly on the wall. What's it like to be at the league meeting? Is like you get a knock on your door at 10 p.m. and it's Nick Sirianni. He's fucked up. He's just pounding on your door. He's checking on seeing what Liam Cohen's going to do. Liam Cohen comes to the door. Well, Coach.
Hi, Coach.
Haven't thought about it yet. Keep us in mind. It's a really awkward thing, dude. It feels like the biggest news at this whole thing. And it's an impactful thing. It's an impactful play, obviously.
D'Amico Ryans, my doppelganger, with the best quote, of course, most sensible. Quote, it's tough to punish a team for being really good at something. End quote.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing. So, I don't know. I don't have much else to say about that. And that might be the podcast. Call some NFL teams and...
Why don't we call?
Can we call the Packers?
Good afternoon, Lambeau Field Events Department. This is Wendy. Can I help you?
Hey, Wendy. How are you doing? This is Macon.
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. Hey, I was trying to book a birthday party and seeing what sort of venues you all have available.
Okay. For when?
It will be for May the 17th. Now, we're a year out, Wendy. I'm on top of this 14 months in advance, if you can believe that.
Okay. So May of 26.
That's right. Should I call back another time, or?
Yeah, no. I mean, I can certainly talk to you about options available. I mean, how many people are you going to be inviting?
Sure, it'll be 22. And ideally what we do is line up, 11 guys on one side, 11 on the other. If we were able to get onto the field, that would be terrific. Thinking something maybe near the goal line at the 1 or the 2. And
we don't do anything on the field.
Nope. Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
What about a practice
field? Yeah, we
field?
don't allow any. Yeah, nope, not on the practice field either, unfortunately.
My God. What sort of?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. What venues are available?
Well, we have suites available that you can reserve for a lunch or a dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we don't book any events on the field.
Okay.
And the practice facility is not a rentable space.
Okay.
Could we buy it?
Now, my friend Chris will be turning 41 in a quarter for this. So, how do you feel about the tush push, Wendy?
I don't really care either way.
Oh. Now, that's a sensible take, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm neutral.
I mean, should we be punishing one team for doing something so well? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, not my area of expertise.
Are you a Packers fan?
Well, of course. Can I help you with anything else?
Absolutely. Can you name 3 Green Bay Packers?
Thank you for calling.
Take care, Wendy.
Wendy bitched you, dude. She bitched you, dude.
That was the nicest. All right, this is enough.
Thank you for calling.
Damn.
She was neutral.
Yeah. The Packers wouldn't like to hear about
No, they would
that.
not like. We shouldn't get
We're going to need to bleep out her name.
her fired.
They're not a united front in Appleton.
April Fools? Any pranks?
Oh, should we call call my dad and tell him that I'm joining the Army or something? Or Kyle called me. He's joining the Army.
Oh, really?
That's what I'm going to tell Dad right now.
Okay. That's good.
Yo, buddy. What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm good. Kyle just called me. And this, you're not going to believe this one. He's okay. Everything's fine. But he's joining the fucking Army.
Oh, God.
April Fools.
Oh, shit.
What do you got against the military?
Nothing if my 6'7" target of a son.
He can't fit into the planes.
He can't fit in anything.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I just, because
That's wrong, man.
it's not. Well, I could have made it a little less far fetched.
You know how I'm waiting for calls like this.
Yeah, that's one that was on my bingo card.
You know, my heart rate's hovering right at about 63.
Yeah, not anymore.
Spiked to 85.
Well, it's good. It's a little cardio for you.
You and your freaking warped friends.
April Fools.
Untaken.
I forgot.
Well, it's March 31st, but our show drops tomorrow, so.
Oh, okay.
All right. Love you. Who else is just calling fuck with people?
Perfectly.
That's the ticket. I'm going to call my mom and tell her that.
Kyle's joining the Army.
God.
Oh, that was perfect.
Kyle, what else? Kyle's joining the Army to my mom, too?
Yeah.
Just call as many people.
I'll call my dad and say Kyle's joining the Army.
I'm going to call Kyle and tell him that there's a draft. Hold on. I got to call my mom first.
Hi.
Hey.
What's going on?
Nothing. Have you talked to Kyle today?
No, why?
Everything's fine. This is all right. I don't know if he's going to do it, but he claims that he has signed up for the National Guard and he's planning on being in the Army.
It's today April 1st. You're a jerk.
No, it's March 31st.
No, it's not. No. What's today's date? What are you doing?
Nothing. We're just letting you know that Kyle's joining the Army.
You're full of crap.
All right. You weren't as easy to do this to his dad.
Who are you with?
I'm with
Who are
Macon.
you with?
I'm with Macon.
Macon. I'm like, wait a second.
Well, the show drops on April 1st, so.
Okay.
All right. I love you.
Okay, bye. I love you.
No flies on her.
You going to call your dad and tell him that Kyle's joining the Army?
Yeah.
Okay. One of our best bits.
Hey there.
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing. What's up with you?
Nothing. Not a thing. Ready to go take a little walk, though. It's awfully hot out there.
How hot is it?
About 80.
Whoa. I've been inside.
Oh. What you been inside all day doing?
Working.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, kept you out of the pollen.
That's right. Chris called me.
Mhm.
He said Kyle has decided to join the United States Army.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
He was called to serve, enlisting next month.
Oh, Lord. He's lost his mind.
I don't know if he's thought it through, you know?
Well, if he hadn't put his name on the papers yet, maybe he has.
I don't know. Chris seemed pretty upset about it.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't blame him.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he wants to do it for a while. He just wants to go in for a short period of time and make his presence known. How Chris put it.
That's exactly the way it works. I don't think you join and then you start telling them what you're going to do.
Well, you know, he's like 6'7", almost 280.
He's probably... Kyle has joined the Army, Meredith. Kyle Long. Oh, guy, no. Kyle Long.
He's taking
He's
taking our dog, Willie.
isn't he too tall? Don't they have a height limit? I think they do. He's higher than 6'7".
Can't fit in the tank.
7 feet.
Can't fit in the tank.
There was a need for a service dog, too, so he's taking Chris and Meg's dog, Willie.
What?
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Unless Chris is messing with me, it's no joke.
He joined the Army. He's going to tell them how long he's going to serve, and he's going to bring along a dog. They must be pretty desperate for recruits. Oh. Good Lord, Macon.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you a little later.
Great news.
Hey, Dad. All right. You hung up too. He like
Don't say anything, okay? Should we call William Hayes and tell him something?
Kyle's joined the Army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, hold on. Hold on.
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's up, pimpin'?
Man, out here just living the dream, man. Sitting at the ponds, smoking some doobies with my brother.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about. I wish I was there. I got some crazy news. You want to hear this?
Yeah, to give it to me.
So, my brother just enlisted in the Army. Kyle.
No fucking way.
Yes, dude. He's going next month.
Like, hold up. Like, really enlisted?
Yeah, dude. Just out of nowhere, he said he wanted to go fight because World War III's going to happen.
Yeah. Are you serious?
Yes, he's going next month.
Are you okay with that?
I don't really have a choice. I can't stop him. He can't. He's too big to do anything but drive a tank. So he's going to drive tanks for the Army.
That's crazy.
You think what should I do?
You should tell him don't go.
It's a good idea.
I'm so serious, though. I don't know. I try to talk his ass out of it.
Well, what I heard is there's a draft. Like, this is the first wave, and then I heard that there's a draft coming. Like, I got a buddy in the DOD, the Department
I think you're full of shit.
You do?
Yeah, I think you're definitely making this up. I don't believe that one word that's coming out your fucking mouth right now. You full of shit. Kyle's probably sitting right beside you listening to this.
No, he's not even. What I
don't believe that a little bit, dog. I do not believe that.
Kyle's not here.
I wish Kyle was there. I don't believe you.
Do you think you would do well in the Army?
No, probably not.
Why?
Nah.
Why not?
He's just a big angry motherfucker, man. They don't do good in the Army, dog. Hell no, man. Big angry motherfuckers like Kyle get shot till he quit, man. I wouldn't want that motherfucker in my foxhole. He might just like get so inspired. He might just like run out there with his gun and shit. Just like give us up, man. Nah, man. Kyle need to keep this big ass at home, man.
All right, good call. If this ever comes up in reality, I will definitely try to talk him out of it. This is good advice.
Man, shit, you need to let me talk to Kyle. I'll talk his ass out of it. Man, he too angry, man.
That's a good point.
Yeah, way too angry, man. Somebody might just like, yeah, fuck you. It might trigger him. Just like lose all that shit, man. Lose all his marbles, man.
Yeah.
Your brother, stay here in Virginia, man. Like, look at the mountains and shit, man.
He left. He's in Florida. He's getting ready to deploy. So.
I think you're lying. Are you really telling the truth?
No, I was joking about the draft, but he's really going to join the Army.
Is he really?
Yes.
I think you're fucking lying. I don't believe it a little bit, man. Hey, you think that Army will let you like do a documentary on Cal?
Yeah, green light, like a green light. Like,
oh my gosh,
send Reed over with him.
Yes.
All right, let me look at this and call you back because I'm getting a beep right now. It's from my mom. She just heard about it, so she's freaking out.
All right, bud.
I'll call you back. That's a good bit. That's a good bit. Kyle joining the Army. Why?
Is this too far?
What?
To call William back?
No, because Kyle would have to call and be like, I'm here already. It's bad.
Hey, let me put you on with Kyle.
What movie is that?
I put in war scenes.
Yeah. It's true, I joined.
William!
Should we April Fool's Stanford Steve?
Okay.
What can we do for Stanford? What can we get Stanford Steve with?
Kyle joining the Army.
Kyle joining the Army.
Hello?
What are you answering the phone like that? Were you afraid?
What's up?
Dude, I do have some crazy news, though. Seriously. Yeah, you're going to want to like sit down for this. This is nuts. So Kyle, I don't really know how to fucking put this. My brother is joining the Army.
What?
Yeah, dude. He just enlisted, National Guard, and he plans on going over to fucking, what is it, like Kuwait, wherever the base is, next month.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to Steve.
Oh, you're telling him about Kyle?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I'm with Macon.
Is Macon going with him?
Hey, Steve.
No, they didn't need any fucking Macon's. But no, he really is going.
Oh, all right.
I didn't even know you could do that at 36.
Me neither. I didn't know what was going on because when I asked you about him yesterday, you were like, "Nah, man."
That's what I mean. We were going through that whole thing. He was like, "I want to go to the Army."
Oh, God. Didn't he just have a kid? 2 kids?
Yeah, dude.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know, dude. I'm trying to figure that out. Like, they said he's too big to do like half the stuff that they're supposed to do. So he's supposed to drive tanks.
Oh, Jesus.
Because he can't fit in the normal cars.
No, he cannot. He's a human space eater. Those aren't supposed to go to the Army. Holy hell.
I know. We got a lot to catch up on when you get here later this week.
Yeah.
What do you think I should do?
I mean, obviously, let him know how you feel. Like, you know, I mean, you're ahead of the game as far as kids, man. Like, he's like, there's a possibility of missing out on some of the best shit ever.
There's a possibility he gets fucking shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's brother, you know.
I know, but it's. He called me. He's April Fools. April Fools, Steve!
Got him!
I thought it's March 31st.
I know, but the show drops tomorrow.
Oh.
We've been calling people all day, telling them Kyle's going to the Army. You called my dad.
No, you didn't.
He believed me.
Oh, God.
We'll be able to laugh about this later this week, Steve.
Me and Howie, yeah, good laughs. Hey, Macon, fuck off.
Bye, Steve.
Bye.
He said, I know. You can't fit into anything. Fit into the little cars. All right.
Nate.
Yep.
Hello.
What up? What are you doing?
Let me hit you back. I'm at this baby appointment real quick.
Kyle's joining the Army.
What?
Yeah. That's why I called. You can call me back whenever, but it's...
Oh, good job.
All right.
Good job.
April Fools. He's not joining the Army.
Oh, my God. Yo, you're a clown.
Goodbye.
Yeah, let me hit you back.
Still hitting you back.
He's still going to hit me back. All right, I'm going to call Meg with one. What should I tell Meg?
Party related. She put it on. Something bad happened. Somebody got bit by spiders in the hospital.
Yep. Who's in the hospital?
I could be in the hospital. I'm soft like that.
Yep.
No big deal.
Hey.
Yo, what up?
No, me and Junior are on the way to pick up the boys.
What are you eating while you're driving?
Yeah, pretzel stick.
Okay. Well, just take a sec. This is kind of nuts. So, I was here all day waiting for Macon. He didn't show up. I finally called. He wasn't answering, so I called Kate. He's been in the hospital with a spider bite that he got at our party since, I think, Sunday or Saturday night. Yes.
What?
Yeah, dude. But like maybe a black widow or something. Like his whole leg swole up. He's... Hold on. Kyle's calling me. He's joining the Army. Did you... I'm going to call you back. Kyle.
Hello.
What up?
What are you doing?
Nothing, dude. So I just got a call from a buddy who's in the DOD. This is crazy, and you can't repeat this.
Okay.
They're doing a draft.
Are they really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. 30 people in their 30s they're eligible.
Great.
Would you go?
Wait till I would go. Where am I going?
Kuwait.
Wait till these nuts drop on your head.
Goodbye, Kyle. I was waiting for him.
That's a little late. Sorry.
That was the best of it, Meg. I gotta go. Kyle's joining the army. Okay.
I'm getting a call from Kyle Long.
Okay, call. Yeah, pick up.
Kyle?
I got drafted.
Hey, man.
I got drafted.
I got drafted. Kyle?
Yeah.
What's
You got drafted?
What's good with you, man? Yeah.
You feel cold. It's
Did you
cold.
hear about the draft?
It's cold.
Yeah, I did. It's exciting.
Ah! Kyle hung up.
It's pretty good April Fool's there.
Mm-hmm. Should probably call my dad.
Tell him that it's not.
Writing your family a letter.
Is there anybody else we should April Fool's here?
What's the number for? Can we find the hotel that they're staying at? That all the coaches are staying at? And
yeah, what's that hotel?
You pretend to be like another coach.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mike Vrabel's joining the army.
No, this is. No, this is Raheem Morris.
Yeah.
My flight just got in with my car.
Yeah, where the fuck is my room?
I've been in the valet circle for the past 36 hours. Oh. Bad key.
Yo.
Kev.
What up?
Dude, you're not going to believe this.
Okay.
Kyle just enlisted into the United States Armed Forces. My brother.
What?
Yeah. He ships off to Moratoria tomorrow.
You're kidding me.
No. He did it like 3 weeks ago, didn't tell anybody.
How's the wife feel about this one?
Haven't talked to her. I've just talked to Kyle.
Were you like, what?
I kind of don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I told him, I said, like, bro, like, they will shoot you.
Isn't he too big?
Yeah, but okay, so here's what he told me. He said, like, the size thing, not a big deal because, listen, they're not going to let me drive any of the Jeeps or anything. I'm, like, too big for all that, but they said they're going to put him in the tanks because the tanks are big enough to hold him.
Why? Did you ask him why?
I think it had something to do with I couldn't really figure it out. It had something to do with like the whatever's going on right now in with Doge.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I have no idea, dude.
Is he losing it?
Yeah, I think he is losing it, Kev.
Fuck,
I don't know what to say to him. I was like, don't go. And he was like, I'm going. And I was like, hey, don't go. And he just kept saying, I'm going.
Dude, maybe you need to go down there. Is he coming in town?
Well, he's skipping the golf tournament because he's going to the Army. Hold on. Meg's calling me because
What the fuck?
she's pregnant. Hold on a second. Hey, babe.
Hey, what kind of weak ass podcast are you whipping up this week?
That's the funniest thing yet.
Welcome to the show. I'm in the middle of telling Kevin Kyle's going to join the Army. So can I call you back?
Is this an April Fool's edition?
Yeah, because the show drops on April Fool's. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I called Macon's wife, and everything's fine. So.
Okay, that's hilarious. Is Waylon in the car?
No, just June.
Hi, June. June. We're enlisting you in the Army.
She laughed.
Okay, I'll see you at home.
All right. Okay, bye.
Love you. Oh, Becky's still on hold. Kev. Kev? I gotta tell him he's not going to the Army.
All right. So he's kind of lost it.
Has Macon texted you?
He just texted me.
What did he say?
He just said Kyle Long's joined the Army.
I talked to him this morning, and we talked about it for a while.
All right. Like, is he losing it, dude, a little bit? Do you think?
No, I just think he really... He's like hell-bent on this Greenland thing.
Yeah, you can be hell-bent on it. You don't need to go to the Army.
Well, how are we going to go get Greenland if nobody joins the Army? He's like, that's his mindset. Is like, bro, like Greenland's really important for our security and for protecting our shipping routes and all this stuff. And I'm like, when did you get into this?
This is, dude, what? All right. Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. You need to play Big Brother here. All right, and hey, dude,
he's got guns. What am I gonna do to stop him? He's got guns now. He's like fucking all. He's got a uniform and like.
He doesn't have a uniform. What are you talking about?
What's wrong with the Army, Kev?
Nothing's wrong with the Army. I mean, if that's what the guy wants to do, but he doesn't have to do it. Let other people do it. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's
what the fuck?
We're not gonna. In his mind, we're not gonna get Greenland that way. He thinks he's going to go like single-handedly and get Greenland.
Oh, wait, hold on. And you just got off the phone and you said someone's pregnant. Who's pregnant?
Meg's pregnant. My Meg.
Your Meg is pregnant.
Yes. So we've got just multiple things going on.
Dude, you're throwing a lot of shit at me, dude. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious, bro. But the pregnancy is just kind of taking it's a back burner thing right now because Kyle's going to join the Army. He thinks we're going to annex Canada.
All right, here's the thing. That's fine. Let Kyle go do this. That's fine. Dude, that's congratulations. That's great.
Thanks.
That's fun. That's great.
I can't allow this to go any further. April Fools.
No. You're a dick. Hey, you're a dick. All right, you're a dick. But that was a good one. I can appreciate a good joke. But here's the thing. You're even a bigger dick because it's fucking March 31st.
I know, but the show drops April 1st. We've been calling people and telling them that Kyle's going to the Army for like an hour. I called my dad. He believed me.
See, think about that, though. People actually believed you.
I know, because they I know that's a problem.
That's a fucking problem right there.
We need to talk to Kyle and make sure that he's not going to go to the Army. Snip this in the bud. But Meg is not pregnant.
Now you're just a bigger dick, dude. I was excited for you.
Well, no,
flights to get you down to Florida to talk to your brother. What the fuck?
Well,
that's funny, dude. You're a dick.
Okay. I'll call you later.
You're such a podcaster, dude. You're funny. You're like fucking jerky boys. Get off the. Dude, I got shit to do.
Jerky boys.
Never had a thing to do in his life. Kate texted, "Are you guys hurting for content?"
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna act like you haven't told me.
Okay, cool.
Yo.
What's wrong with you two, dude?
What do you mean?
April Fools on March 31st? Funny, dude. Funny shit.
The Kyle stuff?
Yeah.
That's April Fool's?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I'll call you back.
Oh, Howie's got Oh, there you go. Yo.
What up?
Dog, everybody's okay, but you got to hear this. It's crazy. All right. Kyle called me this morning.
Yeah.
You won't believe what he's about to do. He's joining the Army.
What?
Yeah. He enlisted last week.
What?
Yeah, dude. I don't know what he's like, if he's okay or what, but like he's all swept up in this Greenland thing.
It's Greenland.
Yeah, he thinks it's a really important stop along our trade route, and it's got to be like protected and all this stuff. And Greenland's not holding up there into the bargain.
He'll fail his physical.
Why?
Because all his ankle, his shoulder, his elbow, he won't get past the first physical. It would be my.
I guess he already passed.
What?
Yeah, dude. Have you talked to him today?
No, not today.
Yeah, no, sir. I don't know why he's doing it. You got to fucking call him or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm not gonna call him and say, "Hey, Chris called me and told me to join the military."
Well, that's kind of how the call would go.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, don't do that. Because I tried all morning, and he was like, nah, man, it's fucking too important. And plus, he's like, we're going to annex Canada.
What?
Yeah.
What is he gonna, what? So is his family's gonna move to Greenland in this plan?
No. Like most military families, they stay behind.
Yeah. What?
Yeah,
Is this? I know we're getting close to April 1st, so.
Why would I joke with you about,
I
one,
don't know.
the U.S. military? I would never joke about the military. And two, Kyle joining the military.
All right. Well, then I'm going to call him.
Can you call him?
today.
Can you call him right now,
Yeah.
please? Just call him right now.
Yeah. All right. I'll call
He'll
him.
pick up because I was just talking to him. I love you.
Okay, hold on.
Who are you talking to, Kev?
Yeah. Right. Yo.
Were you in on this?
Fuck that guy. I had called my dad. Did he get you?
Yeah. Here's the thing. He got me in the beginning, and I was literally concerned. And then as he was like, did Macon text you? And as I was talking to him, which was 15 minutes ago, that's when you text me. And I went, this sounds a little, I don't know. It got fishy to me. Because I was like, the timing of it was weird.
He called me, I don't know, 10:30, 11. I had to run, so I guess he couldn't give me the punchline. But I called Kate, I hollered at Kyle, I told my parents, and he just told me he's fucking with me. Does Chris have a screw loose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I thought we were doing a sports pod here.
I don't even know if I'm good with like joking about the military and stuff. I mean, that's serious business.
I believed it. I'll tell you that. I believe that it was a thing. I could see Kyle doing that. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said I can see this happening.
Did you hear Meg's pregnant?
Yep. He got that as he's like, let me call you back. Meg's pregnant, by the way. And I was like, whoa. My antennas went up a little bit because he was like kind of hesitating. And I was like, is this being taped or something? So, but whatever. I ran with it. It's fine. But I didn't call anybody. He told me. He kind of let it run with you for a little while. That's not cool.
No shit. He said Kyle was on his way to Kuwait.
He kept what he
Could wait till these nuts drop on your face.
what the fuck? Unbelievable. I actually felt bad for Macon for a second.
Hey,
Never again.
happy holidays, Kev.
Here's the thing. You guys are complete fucking jag-off.